much for the invitation. My presentation is going to be focused on how technology is being used for good in the health sector. And what I want to start saying is that it's not that new technology has emerged, but exciting and promising technology has been repurposed for fighting COVID-19. And during this presentation, I'm going to be talking about 5 different problems and how technology is fitting into helping with it. Problem number 1 that you also mentioned was that there is a lack of equipment to treat COVID-19 patients. So here it is when 3D printing, which is a process used to build three-dimensional objects from a computer-aided design model, steps in. And you may have seen the use of 3D printing for a miniature of your Harry Potter character, but also you have used 3D printing for building space habitats, which are the ones that are going to be sent to Mars, as you can see in the NASA competition that took place last year. And what is happening now is that 3D printing is being used to build oxygen masks and ventilators that are being distributed at the hospitals. The problem number 2 will be that there is not enough testing kits for COVID-19. So what is happening now? What can we do? So that's what many people working on the field has been wondering, and they have realized that by merging CT scan and MRI scan, which is technology that allow us to take photos of different organs in our body, and when you merge it with artificial intelligence, that, as you may know, it's a computer system that is able to perform tasks at higher speed and in a really high magnitude, together with machine learning, that is a subset of AI that provides a system with the ability to automatically learn and improve from experience without being explicitly programmed. We are having this, which you can already see at the hospitals in China, where we have CT scan being used for the prediction or to see the intensity that the COVID-19 is having in patients. And with the power of artificial intelligence, we are generating more studies on all the pictures, and then every time it becomes more and more accurate to detect if the patient is suffering from COVID-19 or not. Problem number 3 will be, how do the COVID-19 virus function? And this is such an important task because in order to develop vaccines or treatments, we need to understand how the virus is shaped. So in this diagram that I'm showing you, I just want to bring your attention to the blue parts, which are known as spikes, and they are in the surface of the virus. And it's understood that this is how the virus go into the human cells and open the cells in order to deliver their genetic material. So here we have 2 different technologies that are coming together in order to do protein prediction. Protein, we mean like a little piece of the virus that can be used for developing vaccines or treatment. And the first technology is sequencing technology, which, as Jean-Marc mentioned at the beginning, is a technology that allows us to read the genetic material of any species, and in this case of a virus. And together with deep learning and neural networks, which is also a subset of AI, that has networks capable of learning and supervised from data that is unstructured and unlabeled. We have companies, artificial intelligence companies, that are now putting their services into fighting COVID-19. How? Because by using computational predictions of these structures of the virus, then we can have a better understanding for scientists on how to develop drugs, medicine for treating it. You have to think about this in the same way, like how is the position of your body when you want to open a door? It's different than when you are hugging your dog. So in that case, it's important to know how is the virus positioning itself to open up the cells to deliver the genetic material. In terms of vaccines, which is what everyone is talking about nowadays and pushing scientists to go forward on this, we know that developing vaccines take years, even decades. So what are the technologies that are jumping now into the news and that we are hearing about as a new solutions? So in this case, I want to present you with the platform, the company Innovio, who is trying to come out with a vaccine that they call DNA vaccine. And in this case, we have 5 different technologies coming together. The first one is sequencing, so reading the genetic material of the virus. The second one is computing modeling, because we need to know which part of all the genetic material of the virus will trigger an immune response, which one will be better to make further research on it. And then, as Jean-Marc also mentioned, synthetic biology comes in because we need to synthesize chemically this DNA in the lab in order to produce large amounts and use it to deliver a little piece of the virus that is not viral, that is not going to provoke a disease into the human bodies. So how do we do this? We use recombinant DNA. What is it? Recombinant DNA is when you join together the genome of two different species. So in this case, what we're going to do is to take a little piece of the virus and insert it in a little piece of a bacteria. They both are not pathogenic. And then we put it together and we make a circle, as you can see on the presentation. But now, how do we make it to go inside the cells? It's not enough that you just put it inside the body, but you have to make sure that they are going to be delivered inside the cells to produce antibodies. If you remember, the immune system is based on antibodies, which are like the parts that are going to recognize the viral part, and then they are going to say to the body, okay, red alert, we need to do something to destroy this virus. So they are doing it with electroporation. Electroporation is a technology where you apply electrical field in order to make the cell to open. And you can see everything that I have just described in this picture from Innovio, which is, this is the virus. We read the material, we choose a part that is not going to trigger a disease. We put it inside a piece of bacteria, and then we use this applicator that you just are going to come to your arm and inject it in order to generate an immune response. And this technology has received backup from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and it's ongoing, and probably during the summer they are going to be developing, or we are going to know what's happening with that technology. Another type of technology that I also would like to talk about is the one presented by Novavax. And the different layer that they apply to this process that I have just mentioned is that they are going to use nanoparticles technology. So let's come up again. We sequence the virus, we do computing modeling, DNA synthesis, and when we go to the stage of recombinant DNA, instead of using a bacteria, this company is using insect cells and another virus to infect the insect cells with the COVID-19 and then use it as a factory to produce little pieces called antigens that are the ones that we need to put in our body for our immune system to recognize and then have this memory. And then next time that you are infected, they know how to proceed. So as I mentioned, they have an extra layer to this technology, and it's the nanoparticle technology. Nanoparticles are small particles that can be used for different purposes. And for this technology, they are being used to shape the three-dimensional structure of these antigens and making it more better, like they are enhanced. So they trigger a best and longer immune response. And as you can see on the news, Novavax is going to start the first phase of human trial in mid-May. So that means they are going to have a subset of population and going to try this vaccine and see how it goes. The last problem that I would like to talk about is that, so while we are waiting for the vaccines, what do we do in the meantime, right? So we have to develop therapeutics and a way to battle COVID-19 while it's in the patient's body. So for that, I would like to talk about this company called Distributed Bio, which is one of the many companies that are working on treatment with antibodies. If you remember, the antibody is that molecule produced by the immune system that recognizes all the viruses. So their technology is based, first of all, in a computational antibody library. They have 5,000 antibodies that are ready to be tested. What does this mean? That when you throw a little bit of the virus, you can see with which antibodies it fits better. There is a good connection and a good interaction. After that, when they have a small number of antibodies that they can test, they are going to go to the second technology, which is antibody engineering. So they are going to produce many, many versions of this antibody, and then through computing modeling, they are going to see which one has a better response and a better solution for this problem. And they, of course, do it based on artificial intelligence. And this company has been featured, for example, in Netflix in the latest documentary of pandemics. And as you can see in this diagram here, we have 3 different ways on how to battle COVID-19 this year and next year. The first ones are related to repurposing drugs. So that means that all the drugs that were developed, all the medicine that was developed for malaria, for HIV, is going to be tested to see if they can also use it for COVID-19. And then we have in orange the treatments that are related with antibodies, like distributed bio. And then we have the development of vaccines that could take until September of 2021. So I don't have time for more. Of course, there is more technology, exciting technology we can talk about. I just wanted to put like a little summary for you here. And I want to end my presentation by saying that these concepts are not difficult, and we all as a community need to understand them to take better decisions for our governments and for our society. So all the different stakeholders like citizens, investors, policymakers should know a little bit more about this part so we can have a better discussion and conversation. Thank you so much.